Burnout doesn't happen because you're weak, and burnout doesn't happen because you're operating out of alignment. Burnout is a signal. It's not a failure. It's your mind and body telling you something is not aligned. See, high performers don't wait until burnout before they recover. They build recovery into their routine. It isn't a luxury. Recovery is a strategy. Your high energy zone is the intersection of what you're great at, what you enjoy, what moves you forward, and what gets results and aligns with your purpose. Burnout's not caused by doing too much. It's caused by doing too much that's misaligned. You don't need more force. You just need more flow. The path to peak performance isn't built through burnout. It's built through alignment, intention, and energy mastery. All right, welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. George Wright III with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education. And this week, we're shifting gears into personal leadership. We're going to talk about mastering your energy, your emotions, and influence, because before you can lead others effectively, you've got to lead your internal state, your own inner game. So we're going to kind of explore this week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday how to sustain your energy, manage stress, and elevate your leadership mindset. And today, we're going to dive into the topic that every entrepreneur faces, and this idea of burnout. And you've heard a couple of interviews just recently about this topic. So you know the feeling, working harder, but feeling less productive, feeling tired even when you're getting sleep, and feeling mentally scattered, emotionally drained, physically depleted, even though you're passionate about what you do. And here's the truth. Burnout doesn't happen because you're weak, and burnout doesn't happen because you're operating out of alignment. Today, I want to talk to you about the tools and mindset and habits to avoid burnout and to protect your energy and unlock the high performance version of yourself. Stuff that I've learned from meeting and talking with some of the best experts on this subject. So it is very important for you to understand success isn't about pushing harder. It's about performing smarter. So let's get into it. Most people think burnout comes from working too much. I've felt that. I feel that sometimes still, but that's definitely not the full truth. Burnout doesn't come from doing too much. Burnout comes from doing too much of the wrong things, because burnout happens when effort is high, but your alignment is low. And burnout happens when you're busy, not being effective, or when you're putting all of your energy into tasks that drain you instead of tasks that move you forward. Like when you can gain energy. So burnout is a signal. It's not a failure. It's your mind and body telling you something is not aligned. And if you look at top entrepreneurs like elite athletes, CEOs, creators, thought leaders, they're not successful because they never burn out. They're successful because they've mastered the art of protecting and optimizing their energy. You've heard me talk about this before with Brendon Burchard and his book, High Performance Habits. Burnout is not the price of success. It's just the cost of ignoring your energy. And when you learn how to manage your energy as the most important, valuable resource you have, everything else in life and business changes. So how do high performers think about energy differently? Well, they don't ask how much can I do today? They ask, how can I protect and maximize my energy so that I can do what matters most? Energy's created by alignment. It's that alignment between your mind, your emotions, your body, and the purpose that you're trying to create. So let's break it down a little bit, because there's several areas. Mental energy is the first one. This is your clarity, your focus, your decision-making capacity. Mental energy is drained when you multitask and when you have constant interruptions and lack of boundaries and you're making too many decisions. It's strengthened when you create clarity and you plan and you make things simple. That's your mental energy. Now let's talk about your emotional energy. This is your ability to stay calm and confident and grounded. And emotional energy is drained when you have stress and frustration and fear and sort of unresolved pressures. I have this happen when I have indecision. But it's strengthened by emotional regulation, by practicing gratitude and human connection. That's your emotional energy. And then there's your physical energy. This is the stamina, vitality, and physical resilience that you have. And your physical energy is going to be drained by lack of sleep, your diet, your hydration, overworking. But it will be strengthened by moving and resting and recovery and routine. And so it's so important for you to look at each of these areas, this whole mental energy, emotional energy, and physical energy. There's also one more energy that you don't hear me talk about much, and that's purpose energy. This is the deepest energy source you have, your sense of meaning. Purpose energy is drained when you feel disconnected from your mission and when you sort of sacrifice your own values and things that you want. But it is strengthened when you clarify your vision and when you do work that really matters. See, high performance don't just work hard, they manage those four sources of energy. And, if even one of these is out of balance, it's going to affect the others. So when you align all four of those energy sources, you're really going to unlock your peak performance consistently. So I want to talk to you about a couple of habits that I've learned and kind of picked up over the years. And this will help you get a little bit more tactical about how you can avoid the burnout and sustain peak energy every single day. And the first thing you can do is you've got to create a ritual. See, high performers don't wait until burnout before they recover. They build recovery into their routine. Recovery, I've talked about this. It isn't a luxury. Recovery is a strategy. Your brain's not designed for 10 hours of uninterrupted grind. It needs space. It needs some reset. In fact, when you work out, for example, your muscles don't grow when you stress them. They grow when you recover. So taking short breaks, stepping away from your screen, breathing, walking, stretching, giving yourself 10 minutes of silence. Look, all these are things you can put into a daily routine, which builds in recovery. The other thing, another habit that you've got to learn to do is your energy and these ways that you leak your energy out are silent productivity killers. They're things that drain you when you're not even aware. Sometimes you're losing your energy. So what happens, sort of these energy drains, I like to call them, it's when you say yes to too many things. It's when you overthink or you have unresolved problems or clutter or toxic environments, unfinished tasks. All of these little things will make your energy reduce. But together, when you have all, one at a time, this thing's not a big deal, but together they really drain you. So one of the biggest secrets of high performers is eliminating those energy drains that are happening in your life. Ask yourself, what's draining my energy that I need to remove, I need to get rid of, or I need to simplify? And you know what it is. It might be people, it might be situations and circumstances. Remove those things from your life. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is live within your high energy zone. See, every entrepreneur has tasks that energize them and tasks that drain them. I talk about your unique talent, things that you're excellent at but you're passionate about. Your high energy zone is the intersection of what you're great at, what you enjoy, what moves you forward, and what gets results and aligns with your purpose. So when you operate in that zone, your productivity skyrockets, your stress drops, your burnout becomes almost impossible because, most burnout happens when people are doing too many things and things that are draining them. You don't need to do everything. You need to do the things that matter most consistently. It's one of the reasons I opted into being a co-host of the Franklin Planner podcast, because it was another way to remind myself to focus on what matters most. So let's go deeper for just a second. And in the time that we have here today, let's talk about the idea of alignment, because this is where your peak energy is really created. When you're aligned, mentally, emotionally, physically, and purposely, you enter a peak state of performance. You're clearer, you're faster, you operate with confidence, you make better decisions, you're in flow, right? So when we're misaligned, you're going to feel overwhelmed, stressed, tired, disconnected, and alignment is the secret behind your energy. Energy is the secret behind your performance. So see, that alignment's going to create the energy, and energy is going to create your performance. So here's what alignment should look like for you. You wake up with a sense of direction. You feel emotionally grounded. Your body feels rested and capable, and your work feels meaningful, and your day feels intentional. And you can be present, focused, and steady. Now, if you're not aligned, this is what it's going to feel like. You're going to wake up already scattered and anxious. You're going to feel drained before you even start the day. Maybe you feel like you procrastinate even on the little things, and you feel disconnected from your goals, or you carry tension in your body, you're overwhelmed. Your energy will always tell you whether you're aligned. Burnout's not caused by doing too much. It's caused by doing too much that's misaligned. And when you start to align yourself again, your vision, your identity, your values, your energy, all of it's going to rise. So let me leave you with these couple of thoughts before we go. three really core principles. Number one, you've got to remind yourself burnout is not failure. It's a signal. It's your body and mind telling you something's misaligned. And when you listen to that signal, you can make a course correction before you crash. The second thing is energy is your most valuable resource. Remember, you've got mental, emotional, physical, and purpose energy. They've all got to be protected. And when you manage your energy intentionally, you're going to unlock consistent high performance. And the last thing I want to leave you with is peak energy comes from being aligned, not pressure. Recovery, reducing your energy leaks, operating in your highest energy zone. These are all ways to sustain your success. You don't need more force, you just need more flow. And when you operate from high performance energy, you just do more. You become more. You're going to become that version of yourself you're trying to be. Operate in that version. So if this is information that you feel like it's helped you, I would encourage you to share it. Because the more you teach, the more you understand, the more you internalize. And I hope that this is something that helps you. Choose high performance habits and find ways in your week right now to eliminate those energy drains. Because the path to peak performance isn't built through burnout. You've got to find a way to move around that. It's built through alignment, intention, and energy mastery. And that's my message for today. So I'm really super excited to be able to share some things with you this week. We're going to be talking about, we've got so many great topics. Tomorrow, actually Wednesday, we're going to talk about emotional mastery. That's going to be great for you. And then on Friday, we're going to circle back over to leadership mindset, sort of how to inspire and influence others. And so I hope you'll join me for those episodes. I'll look forward to talking with you a little bit more. We're going to have some interviews this week as well on Tuesdays and Thursday. So have an amazing day. Hit me up on the Daily Mastermind or go to dailymastermind.com and check out all the free resources that'll help you. And I'll look forward to talking with you tomorrow. Have an amazing day.